But you lose in the first round in like 4 games to Ottawa, and like Mitch Marner's no longer a Leaf.
I'll never
like recover. That's on the line.
I'll never recover. No, shut up, Jesse. I've done such a good job pushing this to the side. You stop it. I've done such a good job.
So I think you would be doing a disservice to yourself if you don't try and add to the team.
Hey, counterpoint. What if I continue to gaslight myself for 2 months? I'm going to do it.
Jesse,
I'm gonna gaslight myself so hard.
Mm-hmm. Would you do the Schenns or would you do something else?
I don't think Luke Schenn is the defenseman. I don't know if that's the correct guy. But
who would you want them to go after? Like, who do you think?
I don't know. I haven't really looked at the right-handed shots that are available. Like Luke Schenn's the archetype like you want, but I don't know if he's the exact guy. The contract is really good, and you get him for next year. But they have so many defensemen right now. I don't know if it's a little clogged if you bring in Luke Schenn. I
wonder if like a Timmins or Benoit goes the other way if that deal happens.
Yeah,
right?
that would probably make sense. Benoit didn't have the best game last night.
No, he did. No, that pair didn't have the best game.
No.
Schenn having another year at 2.75 is so appealing. Like, I don't care that he's 35. There's options, man. And getting Luke Schenn would involve the Leafs doing my favorite thing. The thing that all smart GMs should do this year. Calling Barry Trotz.
Well,
that is a rudderless, clueless team at the moment. Call them.
So let's talk.
Get 2 phones and call them twice.
Here's how bad it is in Nashville, now that you mention it. Nick Kaiser, who is a reporter for 102.5 The Game, said this is the 7th time in their history that the Predators have been shut out at least 8 times in a season.
They've been shut out what?
The last time they were shut out this many times was 13-14, and they were shut out 9 times. And also of note, gentlemen, I thought you'd find this interesting, from the Tennessean, which is Alex Daughtry, I think is how you pronounce your last name. Sorry, Alex.
Well, it's actually pronounced the Tennessean.
The Tennessean? Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah. Steven Stamkos. 9 consecutive games without a point. The first time it has happened in his entire 17-year career. He has, since January 25, 0 goals, 0 assists, 19 shots, and he's averaging only 17 minutes a game.
Why aren't we talking, like, listen, cap's going up, let's get insane, right?
Could a Stamkos to Toronto thing make sense?
Stamkos to anywhere.
Stamkos to center. He could play center.
He can. He sure as shit can. God, that'd be fun.
It'd be great.
Ooh. Oh, that'd be fun. I mean, is Stamkos as your 3rd line center? I think you survive. I think you're okay. Can he reunite with the man? Like Matthews fought Stamkos in the playoffs.
That's right. That's right. He did.
That's such a bullshit 5-minute major that Austin got. That wasn't a fight. Yeah, no, like that is, I'm definitely picking apart all parts of that corpse. Like, I think the Preds should be open to everything, including throwing both guys they signed to huge deals this summer.
Marchessault and Stamkos?
Oh, my God. Who the hell is not kicking down the door to get Marchessault?
Playoff performer to the max.
Yeah, he won a Conn Smythe. Mm-hmm. Who's not kicking down that door? Oh, now we're cooking with gas. Now I think, are we more in your lane now?
Marchessault to the Leafs?
Well, screw it. Like, or
to the
Stamkos.
anyone's, really. Would you do Stamkos?
Stamkos to the Leafs would be pretty fun.
Stamkos is probably a better.
That would bring full circle the offseason when he didn't sign with the Leafs, right?
That's right. That's right. The pre-Tavares offseason. We don't talk about that here.
Depression is learning. Julian Brisebois nailed it.
Well, so Steven Stamkos makes $8 million until 2028. Jonathan Marchessault, 5.5 until 2029. Stamkos is 35. Marchessault is 34. Now, Stamkos can play center. Marchie's a left winger.
Marchessault at that number is crazy.
That's a crazy number.
Not a great age.
Not a great age.
But that number's pretty good.
Ryan O'Reilly, 4.5 for the next 2 seasons.
I mean,
no trade protection for him, too.
Which is really stupid. All parties involved.
Schenn has no trade protection as well.
You have to admit, at least one party there is being stupid. Either it's the player for agreeing to no trade protection, or it's the team for make-believing that they do have trade protection, you could one-stop shop. Like, I know we just did Brayden Schenn and Luke Schenn. One-stop shop. Ryan O'Reilly, Luke Schenn. Get the band back together. They both play for you next season. Good Lord. And, like, I know Ryan O'Reilly, like, I don't know exactly what it is with him, but, like, I question how much pressure would actually be on him. Like, if
I think at this point it wouldn't be high.
Well, if Tavares and Marner both stick around, like, it's still them.
Mm-hmm.
The expectations still fall on them. Everyone, I think, is savvy enough to know what you are at this point in your career, which is like a premium third line center who can play second line if someone gets hurt. First line if you're really screwed.
Yeah.
But like in the playoffs, you're ideally middle six. You run the middle six. I don't know. I think the big swing. No, see, now I'm getting insane. This is why I was like, no, I want a few little trades. And now here I am going, why not get both Schenns and O'Reilly? Why not?
Well, they could never make that work.
I can't. You give me a rope, I want to be a cowboy. You can't do this with me. No. Connor Murphy, Ryan Donato. But wouldn't it be fun?
Jesse,
I hate what you've done to me, Jesse Blake.
Would you find a way to fit Steven Stamkos' $8 million till 2028 into the Leafs cap?
Probably not.
Would you find a way to fit Jonathan Marchessault's 5.5, even though he's a left winger, and they could use some left wingers?
Yeah, Marchessault would make a little bit more sense, but it wouldn't make total sense.
Marchessault, Tavares, Nylander.
Would you find a way to Ryan O'Reilly? And there is some grumbling in the market about Ryan O'Reilly because he was offered the same deal by the Leafs.
I would rank Nelson and Schenn over O'Reilly, but O'Reilly's probably third.
Okay.
Dude, Marchessault and O'Reilly.
The thing
Marchessault, O'Reilly, Schenn.
The Luke Schenn stuff didn't really make sense to me when it came out over the weekend because Luke Schenn's not somebody who was on CJ's trade board for the Athletic, and he's not on TSN's trade bait board for TSN. So I didn't imagine that he's on a bunch of teams' lists that they're going to trade for him.
But this is the tricky thing about this deadline and navigating it is we're now, for the Leafs anyway, we're 5 games away from the trade deadline. For some teams, probably maybe a little more, maybe a little less. How many teams truly stink and are punting on the season? Mm-hmm. There's not a ton.
Yeah, but if you're Nashville, I think that's a piece you keep for next season. Like, why you're not trying?
What are you going to be good?
Nashville, yes, they're not trying to be bad next season. I think they were trying to be good this season. So I don't know. They're not going into a rebuild right now. They just signed these contracts, and I think their mentality is next season we're going to compete because that's what we were trying to do this season and this offseason because they have so much cap space and a lot of draft picks.
Picks, yeah.
They're going to make a lot of moves to try and be competitive, and Luke Schenn's going to be on the team, and you can always just trade him next year if you're bad again.
Why isn't Nashville a team that's frequently mentioned in all these Dylan Cousins talks? They need a center so bad. They have the cap space. They have all this draft capital. Is that not the perfect landing spot for him? And they have no interest in being bad.
Right. I think their return to Buffalo would be too many futures because Buffalo doesn't want futures, right? Because what does Nashville have to trade off the hockey roster?
Give them Stamkos. No.
Doesn't help, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And if you're Nashville...
If you're Buffalo, flip the first.
Yep.
Right.
It's an asset, right? Like, it's a great asset.
But I can totally see, like, that makes sense. Go after a player like that because you need a center. Definitely.
Interesting.